Okay, so now we're going to show you how to do a UPS pre-trip. As you're walking up to your tractor, if you have any gear, make sure that you load your gear onto the passenger side of the truck, okay? Once you do that, you want to jump up into the truck with your IVUS and go ahead and log on to your IVUS inside the tractor. Once you're done with that, we're going to turn everything on. We're going to turn headlights, flashers, and we're going to pull down the trailer brake. And we're going to start our pre-trip. Now, as you're walking up to the truck, you should be looking for any type of visible damage or any type of leaking inside the truck. First place you're going to start is around the front. If this tractor has a pin puller, you want to grab it right now. So before I go around to the front, I'm going to open up this hood latch. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to start at the top with the lights, windshield, wipers, mirrors, and I'm going to do a Z-scan of the body. I'm looking at the headlights, I'm looking at the flashers, I'm looking at the plate. I'm going to look underneath to make sure there's no leaks underneath the tractor. I'm going to come this way, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to scan, make sure everything looks good, and I'm going to check my wheel, I'm going to check my lug nuts. If it has a clear cap, you could look inside the cap. If it's nighttime, you could put your flashlight up aside the cap and you could see the fluid inside. If not, pop it open. It's full. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. We're gonna check everything. Make sure our IFTA is up to date. Make sure our tractor has its annual inspection. Okay? We're gonna check our fuel. If it's a diesel, make sure we visualize that there's actual fuel inside the tank. If it's a liquid natural gas, you're going to check the booklet that's inside the door with the mileage that's on the tractor. You're going to check your steps. You're going to come back here. You're going to pull on the grab handle. You're going to check your glad hands and your light cord. Once that's good, we're going to check everything in the back. We're going to look here. We're going to look underneath. If it's got an air cord, go ahead and give it 2 quick pulls. We're going to hit the tires. We're going to look for any nails or any type of debris. We're going to check the wheel itself. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the back. Check our lug nuts, make sure we got a pin there. Look at the suspension, look at your springs, make sure everything looks good. Do a quick inspection of the fifth wheel, make sure that looks good. Check back here, look at your lights. Open up your 7-way. Make sure your pintle hook is good. We're going to go to the passenger side. We're going to do the same thing. Check that mud flap, pin, suspension, airbags, springs. We're going to give it 2 quick thumps, and we're going to make sure there's nothing in the tire that could cause damage or breakdown. We're going to check the lug nuts, we're going to check the rim, and we're going to move on. We're going to come over here, we're going to hit the exhaust, make sure everything's solid, make sure everything's connected. We're going to come over here, check our mirrors, which the mirror was loose. Check your mirror. This, if this is good, we're going to go ahead and open up this door, which it's locked, but you should always have the key on you. We're going to open it up, we're going to check our triangles. Triangles are good, go ahead and close it. Close the door back up, and while you're right here, we're going to pop open our latch. Now you got to remember, I opened the latch on the other side when I came around front. We're going to check this mirror. We're going to grab it. We're going to do a Z-scan. Everything looks good. We're going to check our tire. We're going to check each lug nut. And we're going to check oil level, which we're good. We're going to go ahead and replace it. And we're going to open the hood from the side. Always open the hood from the side by bending at the knees. Make sure it locks. And we're going to do a Z-scan. Radiator fluid. come down. Check your leaf springs, check your shocks, check the backside of the tire to make sure there's no thrown oil, which would indicate a leaking pump. Go ahead. Check to make sure the wheel is good. Check to make sure you have no nails, no protrusions. And you're ready to move on to the other side. Now at this point I'm going to put my fifth wheel lat release back in the tractor so I don't lose it. We're going to do a Z-scan on this side. Windshield washer fluid. We're going to grab this. We're going to check our engine level. Engine oil. We're going to do it again. Good. We're going to take a quick look at the belts. We're going to check our springs. We're going to look for any thrown oil. And we're going to check our tire. Go ahead. We'll release the safety and we'll close the hood. Bend at the knees. Push up. Before I get back in the truck, I'm going to turn on my high beams to make sure my high beams are working, and I'm going to shut off my flashers to make sure that I have brake lights. It's all good. We're all good. Now we're going to move inside to the cab. We're going to use our 3 points of contact. We're going to hop up. Put the key in the ignition. Put our seatbelt on. And we're going to put the key in the on position. We're going to hit the tractor brakes. And we're going to do our fan down. Once you hear that pop, make sure it's out. Go ahead and start the truck. Okay, so now that we have the truck started, we're going to check to make sure that our air pressure is building up and that we have oil pressure. We're going to turn our turn signals on, make sure we have turn signals, and make sure everything works. We're going to hit our wipers and press the wash to make sure it works, and we're going to check it on each speed. We're going to turn on our HVAC, make sure it comes out of the vent. Make sure it comes out of the floor, and make sure it comes out up on top. Once we're done there and we're building up air pressure, we're going to go back here and we're going to open up our packet while the engine's building up pressure. We're going to look at our paperwork and make sure we have our registration, our IFTA, our insurance, our electronic hazmat paperwork, accident report card, 2 paper logs, and 2 paper time cards. Once you're good there, go ahead and put all the paperwork back. Two quick blasts of the horn to make sure the horn works. And then before we start up, we're going to leave the brake engaged. We're going to put it in drive. And we're going to give it a little bit of acceleration to make sure that the spring brakes on the tractor hold the tractor back. And then we're going to go ahead and push in our button. And then we're going to proceed maybe about 2 feet. And we're going to apply the foot brake to make sure that the foot brake is working good. You just did a proper pre-trip on a tractor.